Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis, and when it comes to theater, maybe you're familiar with the Tonys, but have you ever won a Jebby? Tonight, my guest, Jeb Bigelow, on Whiskey Business. And welcome to Whiskey Business, the podcast not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. I've said this on the podcast before. I love doing the podcast. I love being back in radio again after a brief retirement. I am what my friends call, and I have deemed myself to be, a reluctant actor. I've done some shorts, some films. The one thing I've never done, the one thing that still to this day frightens me to death, is theater. Theater. I had one or two lines in a Christmas play in the 6th grade, which we'll talk about maybe a little bit later.
Did you flub the lines?
And I screwed it up. I screwed it up. It scares me to death, but at the same time, I have immense respect for the people that do it and the performances that I have seen, and I'm constantly amazed at how people put that together. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, over a good pour of whiskey, we enter the theater, and my guest is Jeb Bigelow, who, would you call yourself a theater aficionado, a theater fan, a theater expert?
I wouldn't call myself an expert, no.
No?
I'd say a theater fan. I have a theater minor in college, but it's not like that's not your, like...
And over the past 30 years, roughly, right?
The awards show has been around for 30 years, but...
The JEBBY'S have become what started... We'll talk about the history of the JEBBY'S. What started off as a small, kind of novel idea, because you have such a love for the arts in general, because it covered a lot of bases, has now turned into a real thing here in Central Ohio, where people get excited if they're nominated for a Jebby, and I might add, disappointed if they don't win a Jebby before it's all said and done. So we'll get into the particulars of that in just a moment, and but before we do that, let's get a little business out of the way with Mr. Greg Hansberry. I want to thank you once again, Greg, for being here. John Whitney on the video side as well. And then we'll introduce the very special guest bottle. And why we're not going to drink all of it, we're going to open up this bottle, and we're also going to open up... I love a guest who brings a bottle.
You brought something.
Yeah,
that means you're guaranteed a second visit.
That's right.
Yeah. In case we don't get to everything this evening. But the business first.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening to Whiskey Business, your favorite whiskey podcast. Not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey.
Yes.
Your
favorite whiskey podcast, or just your favorite podcast?
Just your favorite podcast.
Why can't it just be your favorite podcast?
It's your favorite podcast. Yeah. I flubbed my words, okay? I was like you were in 6th grade. Screw the play.
It's been a long day, right?
But what we ask you to do is, if you're subscribing on your favorite podcast app, thank you very much. Make sure you hit and subscribe. But rate and review us, because that helps immensely. Also, go back and try to find your favorite episode and share it with one of your friends. And maybe they haven't never heard it before, or maybe you could turn them on to Whiskey Business. We would appreciate that, because the word of mouth and grassroots effort is really helps us out. So thank you. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're also on YouTube. John Whitney videotapes all these. So if you're listening on your favorite podcast right now, podcasting app, you can watch it later when you get home. YouTube, Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis. Mm-hmm. Just mash that like button. Mash it. Then there's a little bell icon right there somewhere. Hit that, and then you'll get a notification every time we post a new video right there on your smartphone, and you can just watch it wherever you go.
Uncut.
Yeah, John does uncut it, the uncut version.
Uncut, yeah.
And I cut out like a good 20 minutes of me just asking dumb, drunk questions towards the end.
Yeah, cool.
That's really what it is.
Which happens almost every
I know.
time.
I figured by now I would just
Amazing.
like learn to not
It's
do it,
amazing.
but I
It's
don't.
amazing.
I still do
It's
it.
amazing.
Our website is whiskeybusinesspod.com, where you can watch videos and archived episodes and video shorts and read things that you wrote and
Yeah, I
look
need
at
to
pictures
write,
of
I need
us.
to write something more.
It's
been a while.
It's a website. That's what websites are.
I
They hold
apologize.
things
I'm
like
busy.
that. And then thank you to our podcasting network, our brethren, our fatherin, our parent,
mothership?
our parent company, our mothership. Evergreen,
The Evergreen
Podcast.
Podcast Network.
Why don't you take over before I lose the
The Evergreen
gig.
Podcast Network, which we're thrilled to be partnered with. And if you're looking for anything in the podcast world from A to Z, they got all the bases covered, from their original programming to this lovely partnership that they have with us. To us. Yeah. From award-winning podcasts to us. So, the guest bottle this evening, before we get to our guest, this is special. This, Whitney, you want to hold it up so I do it?
Yeah.
Don't mess it up. This is a bottle of Old Forester single barrel strength whiskey. You cannot buy this, people, because this is the end result of a journey at the Columbus Italian Club. Certain representatives of the Columbus Italian Club,
Including
myself,
you, yeah.
including me, went down to Old Forester and picked our own barrel. And there was a lot of discussion before we settled in on this one, which comes in hot, baby, at 129 proof. 129 proof.
Won't
It's
take the
hot.
paint off your
And
boat.
I'm going to pour some here. We have a couple of friends sitting in the back. You guys get to have some of this too. So, except for
Chip.
except for Chip, who gave up booze for Lent. But my
I'm proud of
guest
you, Chip,
first.
for doing it, for you stuck to
nicely
it.
done.
Coffee and liquor he gave up at the same time.
There we go.
Can't imagine.
And porn, right, Chip? Porn? So,
And for the record, if anybody cares, I have not eaten cereal after dark. That's what I gave up.
That's what you gave
and
up.
I've stuck to it.
And I have not had fast food. I gave that up. So
And we only
Good
got like
job.
a couple weeks left.
aren't we just grand?
We're going straight to
Aren't
heaven.
we good Christian folk as I pour whiskey and I my cigarettes and so forth and so on. Our guest is Jeb Bigelow. My first question right out of the gate is, has your last name ever been parodied to the song Just a Gigolo?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just a Bigelow, and everywhere I go,
Yes. That or Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo. Yes.
Oh, there you go.
people
Yeah,
know
that's
the
a lot.
part I'm playing.
Yes. It is
Yeah.
not a name that is Jeb Bigelow. It's destined to
That's
be.
a great name.
It's an
That's a
amazing
great name. Is
should-
Jeb short for? Because Whitney was asking me this earlier. Is Jeb short for? Would you say Jebediah?
Jebediah.
Yeah, I
Jebediah?
get that a lot, and I'm from the
Jebathon?
country, so that would make sense. But yeah, no, my dad is a big history buff and would sit and read the Civil War books in the back of the class instead of paying attention in school. And he always just thought the name Jeb was a really smart name.
It's cool. It is a smart name.
And so they would, and all of us, like, I have an older brother and we're JWB. My dad's JWB. So they
What's
just,
your brother's name?
Jason. I was like,
Jason.
so they went with like the most he's older. Like, so you waited for Jeb for, I was like, maybe that was mom. I don't know.
She's like, fine, Jeb,
Yeah,
fine.
whatever happens his name. Yeah. So, but I was really excited when Jeb Bush was governor in Florida and I got like a sign.
You got a sign.
That's
Oh,
a
you
Jeb.
get
'Cause I'm like, you get nothing with your name on, which
Right.
is like the one.
You could have made your own sign.
Well, true.
But the fact that there were signs made up that just said Jeb.
I know, that's cool.
Right,
I didn't have to like
No
draw it
keychains.
myself. Or do anything.
You
I already created an award show. I don't need to do that.
Yes, you have created an award show. All right, let's get to the gist of that,
Yeah.
and then I want to dig into some of the minutia. These are one of my favorite type of podcasts because I'm going to discover things that as we go along. I don't have a lot of questions. I
Okay.
mean, I have questions, but they're going to happen as we go. And this is what I love about this podcast is I'm going to learn about you in the process. You may learn about us. And before it's all said and done, hopefully people will want to flock to the JEBBY'S before it's all said and done. The JEBBY'S.
Yeah.
The JEBBY'S take place April the 9th. And I have the honor. Is it an honor?
Yeah,
It's
I think so. I don't know.
it's
You
an
haven't read
honor.
you haven't read what you have to say yet. So.
So it's actually scripted.
We do script it, yeah.
We do script it, really. Oh, okay. Given the recent Oscar fiasco,
Yeah,
I'm a little nervous about presenting.
I promise I didn't tell anyone to slap you.
But let's talk about the history of the JEBBY'S. How did they start?
Honestly, I was obsessed with like movie, music, and TV as a kid, very much loving all the media platforms like that. And I wanted to be either like a DJ when I thought DJs played the music they wanted to and not what the station told them to. I always thought that was cool. So I was like, I want to do my top 40 and stuff like that. So it was kind of like stemmed from all of that and being such a fan of music. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to have an award show, like, and it was really on paper. I didn't even like do like, my family didn't know. I would just like write this down at home, and I still have the old paper that I'd write it on. I'd spend all this time like writing out the nominees, and of course it was nothing like what the Oscars would. I'm closer to the Oscars now. Back then it was like, you know, popular music that or popular movies that a 14-year-old kid would like.
So it started when you were 14.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So and then I would do that every year, and eventually thought, I'll probably give it up, but I never did because I'm like, it's always like Christmas break. That's one of the things I'd work on and be like, what were my favorite movies, or what was my favorite TV show this year, and all that stuff. So
and then you would tell people, you know, this is what's going to win the JEBBY. You named them after yourself.
I didn't name them after. I called them my award show for the longest time. I just wrote my awards up top. I didn't name them the JEBBY till after college because my nickname in college was Jebby, and then I called my car Jebby when I bought my first car after college, and then it was like the awards just kind of came into play once it was like once it was
Jebby with a Y or an IE?
Jebby with a Y.
Jebby with a Y.
I thought that just seems appropriate.
Yeah, just kind of like the Tony, the Jebby. Okay, all right. No, you're staying in that lane. You're staying in that lane.
I want to be instead of the EGOT, I want people to get the G GOT. You know? Just put that in the beginning.
I like that. I like that.
I like that. What was the first movie that won back when you were 14? Do you remember? What was the picture of the year?
This will say a lot about me, so no judgment. But The Cutting Edge.
Yeah,
Davey Sweeney and Maura Kelly. Yeah.
Hockey player turned figure skater, right?
Yeah, it was a rom-com.
I watched that with my sisters.
They did really well early on. Rom-coms tend to do really well in the first
good. And wasn't there a hit song that came out of that movie as well?
Oh, I think you're right.
Off from the soundtrack?
Because you're right.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking right now.
It wasn't Through the Eyes of Love, was it? No, that was something.
No, I'm trying to think too. I remember
there had to have been some sort of hit song when they actually started.
It was like early 80s, right?
It was 92.
Connect and ice dance together.
Yeah.
Sweet Dream. You would. Sweet Dreams, Call All Night, Right on Time, Groove Master. It Ain't Over Till It's Over. Shame, Shame, Shame. Turning Circles, Baby. Now I've got dreams to remember. Feels like forever. So
maybe not. Maybe not.
It was no Pretty Woman. It must have been Love Passage.
It's not wall to wall hits.
It wasn't.
But,
It wasn't a Footloose soundtrack.
No.
Or a Dirty Dancing soundtrack.
Yeah, you didn't get Kenny Loggins involved. That's your first mistake.
I was very often. My friends will make fun of me that know that early on too, music wise, like I just thought R&B was like upbeat. So. So Celine Dion song won like in 1994, just because it was a fast song. So yeah, that great R&B artist Celine Dion. So I've learned.
So when you were picking movies in the Cutting Edge won that particular year, were there other nominees?
Mm-hmm.
So you 6. Make the nominees and then you pick the winner as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the JEBBY'S.
And you would throw them out there to let people know what the nominees were.
Oh no, those were. I'd keep it for myself.
Just for yourself.
It wasn't until like 2005, I guess, when I bought my house and moved in with my roommate at the time, and she convinced me
to have a party,
to have a ceremony.
But would you do a ceremony with yourself in the bathroom?
I would not. Prior to that, I just wrote them down.
When you're writing down the nominees, and like, are you looking at the nominees at 14 years of age, going, I wonder who's gonna win?
I probably did do that a little bit.
You're
I'm like,
Tiffany.
I take it really seriously, but I'm still that way where I'm like, ooh, what should I give it to? And like my other half now, he'll be like, no one cares. It's at least for like national stuff, like local theater, it has become something, but that's more because
are there ever upsets?
Yes. Never a tie. I never let anything tie.
So when let's flash forward to today when we're gonna continue to see the progression of the JEBBY'S, but you mentioned that in respects to the nominees, there's not a committee. It's still just you.
Still just me.
It's still just you. that watches how many shows a year?
Pre-COVID, it was like 80 to 90.
A year. Wow.
80 to 90 local
So you're going to theater
performances.
once, twice, 3 times a week sometimes.
Yeah.
In order to get all these in.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It
I
is.
mean, it's not crazy.
It is
It's
a little
great.
crazy.
It's crazy, but
cool, though.
I mean, that's like it's like a job.
How
little
many
bit,
local
yeah,
shows are there? How many local shows are there?
I mean, I miss some. Like, so I'd say locally, I guess it depends how far out you consider, but I'm sure there's probably like in a normal year before the pandemic, there'd be like 100 to 100.
Oh wow, that's actually
It's
that's
just because
amazing.
you think about all the little like Grove City, like
Yeah, there's a lot. There's
Dana,
a lot.
all these
There's
places.
a lot of great theater in Columbus, Ohio, and a lot of fine troops that put on great shows. So yeah, I can see it's easy.
Yeah.
it's easy to go to a show or 2 shows every week.
Sure.
Yeah. And do you act as well?
I do. Yeah. I mean, that's where, honestly, I came into that like late in high school. My senior year, I got in the senior play. They did 1 play a year, and I was doing that, and I really liked it, so I kept doing it. And
Because you mentioned you were a theater minor,
and that's
why not a major?
because I wouldn't. My parents would kill me. I don't think I would want to do it for a living. I guess I'm afraid that it's and seeing like other friends that tried. It's like always about finding the next job and everything like that. And I didn't want to like. I like keeping it in the thing that I like to do and the like the passion that you do on the side, as opposed to I don't want to get like make it feel tedious or get involved in a show that I'm like, oh, I don't like the show, but I need the money. I didn't want that feel.
So what did you go to school for?
Pharmacy.
Pharmacy. You're a pharmacist.
I'm a retail pharmacist. Yes.
Okay. How long you been doing that? All your life.
Yeah, since 2000, so 22 years now.
But no, as my mother would say, see, he's got a good job.
He's got it figured out.
He's got a good job.
Take notes. Steve.
Yeah, I know you like to do make your little movies and do your little acting. And as my mother, for the longest time, when I did stand-up comedy, and was getting paid to do stand-up comedy, it wasn't a real job for her. It wasn't, until I got on television and had a national. Then
it was a real
then
job.
it was real. At least for that week.
Yeah.
It was real. But my mother would have been thrilled if I would have been a pharmacist. That's a good job.
Yeah, I don't know if it's all pharmacies, but the Walgreens by us, they're always closed for that like lunch break, like right when I'm always going there.
As of late, they are.
Yeah,
That's-
it's like 1
Has
to.
it always been that way? They always close the.
Walgreens has for a while. I know Walmart has. CVS just started, and Kroger is going to.
But it's like right when I need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not
Baloney.
it's not a subtle closure either. It's like a fucking steel door that's it's like lockdown. Like
The DMV.
lockdown. We're going to lunch.
Well, the pharmacist, if the pharmacist leaves the building, you have to lock everything up.
I
You can't-
understand. I mean, it's drugs.
People might just let themselves back there, and you can't.
Yeah. I need Sudafed. You can't just have a nice little wooden swinging door with a little latch. Going to lunch, out to lunch.
A sign that you flip over.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. Do you like your job as a pharmacist?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It was really tough during the pandemic. but
I
yeah.
bet. I bet.
And it was just stressful, and like everyone else is working from home, and you're still going there, and then the vaccine started, and that was crazy. So it was like going through our flu season is always the crazy time where you're doing vaccines all the time and filling all the prescriptions and doing all that. And so,
Because I know I'm guilty of it. I know when I don't want to go to the doctor, I will bug the shit out of a pharmacist in respects to what drug I should take and how it interacts. And, if I have these symptoms, what do you suggest? And 9 times out of 10, the pharmacist says he knows exactly what to prescribe or give me. That's over the counter. And then there's the special ones, like there's Sudafed out here next to the stuffed animals and the Cheerios, but then there's special Sudafed back there that's a little stronger, better, and like, why am I wasting my time with that Sudafed when I can get that Sudafed?
The real stuff.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. It's the real stuff. But so, what is that all about?
the Sudafed behind the counter,
Yeah.
people were like stealing it and it's used to make meth.
Right.
So that's why it's behind the counter now. The state
Thanks,
required
Breaking
that.
Bad.
No, I knew that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, like, that's why it's back there now.
Is that-
I mean, and so the
So
company.
it wasn't always back there. The high proof stuff was out.
It was
Okay.
out there.
It was out there.
Back when, I don't even know when that's changed, but yeah, it used to be out front, and then so Sudafed, probably just to keep part of the market, came out with their Sudafed PE, which is the different ingredient. And,
Right.
Yeah.
The stuff that jacks
It's
you
not as strong as the one behind the counter.
So I should just, but anybody can get it. You just have to
You
go
got to
behind
go
the
through
counter.
a few extra
Yeah,
steps.
And
yeah.
you track their names, right? So like
The
I
state,
can't.
it gets reported to the
That's
state.
right. You
so.
can't so if you go like you get a 48 pack of Sudafed at Walgreens
You can't go to
on a
Walmart
Tuesday, and
and
all of a
then,
sudden on Thursday you're back for another 48 pack.
Well, you could probably do the 48 pack, but
Twice.
you probably could. I mean, you have
in
up to
1
like
week?
there's like it allows you to do like up to a certain amount per day and a certain amount
What
all over
is
per
that
month.
per amount?
Like per day, it's 3.6 grams. That's why. So if you buy like Claritin D 24 hour, a 15 count, that is the max you can buy in a day.
Okay,
We learn more about pharmacy than
No.
theater here. I like this.
Like I said, I'm fascinated. We're going to talk more about the JEBBY'S too,
Yeah, that's
but I'm
fine.
kind of, I like to know and find out about the person
Yeah.
that I'm talking to, because what we come to find whenever we do this podcast is that people are multifaceted. Yes, we're talking about the JEBBY'S. Yes, we know you love theater, and we're going to indulge ourselves in that particular conversation. But the fact that you are a pharmacist at a time when things got super, super crazy, what was the most insane moment in the last couple of years that you may have had at the pharmacy? I know. Maybe there's too many to choose from. I don't know.
Like insane moment.
Did you ever...
You can't. I have HIPAA. I can't say too much.
You can't say too much. I understand.
I was gonna say, well, and I was gonna say I don't want to say anything against my employer. That's
No.
no. I said in general, it was
Do
like
you-
when COVID. I would say when COVID first started, and,
Were there
and they were
unreasonable-
shutting everything down. And,
Yeah, unreasonable people. When
Yes.
they come. Yes.
for sure.
Always.
And it seems to get worse. Like if anything, it felt like for a while people were really nice. Like when the pandemic first started, and everyone's really nice. Then all of a sudden it like turned. And you're like, wow, people are mean. Like mean. I'm just surprised sometimes where I'm like, I think everyone's patience just was getting tested everywhere else. So then it's like, like when you probably any retail customer service job, I'm sure they were getting it wherever you get. So it's like people probably they're just at the end of their ropes and.
Any slapping involved?
No slapping, no physical violence.
No physical.
Thankfully,
That's good. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if somebody in a desperate moment came over the counter and just said I need this and I want it and so forth.
I have heard that happen. Yes.
Yeah,
We have luckily not been robbed and not had anything like that happen. I have had a technician years ago that got fired while I was there. And was like crying and said, how could you let this happen to me and stuff like that? And I was like, it wasn't even my decision. And then my tire was flat later. So I thought that was kind of, I'm like,
coincidental.
Interesting.
So you strike me as the type of individual, since you've been doing this for so long, and how long have you been at the current place that you're at?
Almost 22 years.
22 years. So after 22 years, and see, this, not only would my mother say, why can't you be like Jeb? Jeb's a pharmacist. My mother would also be of the ilk that she would actually be upset if she picked up her prescriptions and Jeb wasn't there.
Where's Jeb
So
today?
people have probably come to trust you,
Yes.
and actually like to see you and feel comfortable and confident that whenever you're filling their prescriptions, that everything in the world is good, right?
Yes.
You've met people. You have probably favorites that come in and get their medicines and whatever else they might need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neighborhood pharmacist.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's still like, it's not as neighborhoody as like when I was an intern, like when I worked at like an independent store up in like Delphus, Ohio. And that was really cool. Like, I don't know, that kind of feel like but it's still, it's still a big company and all this stuff. So you have to follow certain things and you get kind of stuck back there. So it's nice to get to have time when you do get to actually wait on someone and not the that you get to have that interaction.
Then every once in a while you get pharmacists that I had not too long ago when I had remember when my eye was all messed up? I had a really bad sty that had gone into the duct and swole up like I'd gone couple rounds with Tyson on a Friday night, and I had sunglasses on, and I was picking up my medicine, and the pharmacist was like, "Your name?" And the pharmacy I'd never been to before, and I said name, and he goes, I give my name, and he goes, "You're picking up the I think it was Baxitrin. I think it was an antibiotic that for the eye. I may be saying it wrong." And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "What do you need this for what?" And I took off my glasses, and he went, "Oh, damn!" And I'm like,
Wow.
I just want the medicine, not an opinion. I know.
That's why I'm here, brother.
I know what I look like. But I'm like, that's not very professional at all.
No.
I wasn't self-conscious enough coming to Target to the pharmacy department. Okay, I just said, well, that was that. But there's a lot of Targets, a lot of pharmacies. They don't know which one. But yeah, it was like, oh, damn. I'm like, Jesus, okay.
You don't get that all the time when you
No.
when your face looks normal. Oh, damn.
I don't get that. No, thankfully. I walked out of there just feeling like a freak, Just let me get my Baxitrin and get home and put it in my eye.
Sunlight burns.
I must go before the dark arrives.
That's why you're on radio, I guess.
That's right. I got face for radio, baby. I got a face for radio. Even if I had the opportunity to do TV, I don't know if I'd do it. I mean, this is as close to TV as I care to get.
You gotta actually shower and put makeup on and
Right,
TV.
Given whatever happens the night before, sometimes I don't want to say that we're filthy animals in radio. We shower and go to work, but we don't have to be except my co-host. In the 24 years that I've worked with her, I don't think she's ever come in not looking like she could go on TV.
Yep.
At that particular moment.
Yep, that's very true.
Wish I had that kind of pride in myself, Jeb. But
It's the yin and yang. I mean,
it's the yin and the yang of it all.
if you guys were too similar, then it wouldn't work, right?
Before we continue, we just we mentioned what the whiskey was. We've had a little sip of it, and didn't really talk about anything more than it's like 129 proof, pretty hot. And I did suggest that we put some ice to open it up a little bit. Because even when I first put this to the nose, neat, it had a real strong alcohol nose to it, and I was like, did I choose correctly? But the alcohol nose did not translate to alcohol in the palate in the finish. It's got a nice long finish. What do you think, Johnny? Do you like it?
I do like it. The first sip was a little bit like, you definitely feel the alcohol, so
Right.
it's kind of a burn. Mm-hmm. But after the second one, it's just once the water kind of got mixed in with it,
Opens it up a little bit.
Yeah, it got nice.
A real fruity flavor.
It's got some fruits in it. Yep.
Honestly,
Nice.
apricot and something.
Nice, good, go. Look at Hansbury.
And actually, you're right. It is very hot, and I don't think I could be able to handle a whole glass without ice.
You can't handle the proof.
But I'd like to try it again, neat, to get that.
It's good though.
That's very good.
Yeah. And Jeb, are you a big whiskey drinker?
I am, but I don't think I could probably, if someone put a whole bunch in front of me, I don't know if I'd be able to tell the difference. But
Really?
I don't know. Maybe I could. I've never tried, but I do like whiskey.
Do you like whiskey? Do you have a favorite whiskey? There's no wrong answer
Yeah,
here.
it's like American Honey is probably my.
Okay, there is one wrong answer.
But it is a wrong. Well.
Apparently there is.
Well,
Got some hot damn too
that or
while you're at it.
that or Crown Royal, but I'm like the American Honey. You don't have to add anything to it. It's just like a nice little sipper.
Yeah.
And that
So you like-
it has sentimental value.
What's
like when
really? What's the sentimental value?
my grandfather passed away, and I had it with my uncle, and we
Okay.
bonded over
Well,
that. Right
see, there you go.
So it was like that was
There's a lot of reasons why people pick a favorite whiskey.
why people pick bad whiskey. Is it?
No, it's
It is definitely. Like, I have had like the one I brought. I've had that before.
the one
and
you
I like
brought that we're actually going to open up because there's limited amount of this Old Forester single barrel, so we're not going to kill this whole bottle. You were very generous and brought. And did you pick this yourself? This is Four Roses, small batch select. This is wonderful whiskey. Four Roses is excellent.
I have some theater guy friends that like they came over once and we had it and they brought it because I don't know, and I knew I liked this one, so I've liked Four Roses. When I see Four Roses somewhere, it doesn't have to be the small batch, but I thought, well, I was looking at it, I was like, well, that's more special. I don't know.
It
In
is
my mind, I'm
special.
like,
It is
I like
special.
small batch is like
It's-
kind
This
of.
is a one of a kind too, right?
Well, not one. No, I'm not,
There was a whole bunch of bottles. It wasn't
not
one.
one of a kind.
Well, I mean, like,
but in the fact
Yeah.
that it's a small batch
good,
select,
right.
and it's special in that it's not just Four Roses, the yellow label,
Right.
which is a great everyday pour. My friend John Osbeck is sitting on the couch there, out of sight, and we both agree that Four Roses is a fine everyday pour for like $25. But this did not cost you $25. This cost you a little bit more.
That's where the pharmacist comes in handy.
That's
I can
right.
Spend a little money on the whiskey and on theater tickets.
On theater tickets. So you don't get free tickets when you go to these shows. You have not established enough renown.
I
that
try.
If Jeb Bigelow is coming, let's leave him 2 tickets
I
at the
know.
door.
No, hasn't happened yet.
Are
I
you
have friends that
kidding
have
me?
tried. I have friends that have tried to help, like that have tried to make that happen. And certain companies do. Like I have like gallery players at the JCC and Bexley. They give me 2 free tickets, and normally when Available Light, they'll do theirs. And there's certain companies that will. Actors Theater's been good about that, but you don't necessarily have to pay anyway. And I'm normally like, oh, I'll just give them like, you just swipe your card there, and it's
Right.
like, okay, I'll pay. And
In a way, though, it's kind of maybe almost better because now you owe them nothing except your honest opinion.
Yeah.
You know, you have not been given a gratuity, and now we expect something gratuitous back in a review or an opinion. Now, when you're watching these plays, these musicals, these theatrical events, whatever the case might be, do you write any type of review anyplace else, or no? You just keep these opinions to yourself, make your own notes.
I'll talk to people. Like if people ask me what I thought of a show, I'll tell them.
Have you thought about actually being a critic?
doing a blog or something.
I still want to do theater though, and I'm afraid that if I became a critic, I wouldn't get to do it because I don't want to piss off directors. And I also like I've stepped into like directing a few times myself, so it's more that I don't want to like
Really?
because I do think there needs to be better critics in town because they're just everything comes out and it's like everything's lovely. You're like, okay, I think to get better in general, you need some like what is it? Constructive criticism.
Yeah.
You need like a little bit of being like, so this was great, I loved it, but this didn't work, and this is why. So like most of the time, if I don't think I could see as many shows as I do if I didn't still love like watching it, because the most time I'm like, even if I don't love a show, I'm still like, what do I like about it? So I've always been I've tried to be more of like an optimist. It's harder sometimes, but you know, like when you go see something, I try to go into it like that view. And I have a lot of friends who are very pessimistic when they go see plays or something. They're like, oh, what's wrong with this? Oh, this doesn't work. So I try to concentrate on what I really like. So luckily that kind of helps, but I do think I could be a good reviewer because of that.
So you still think that
I'm also not a writer though, and I barely I did not have a strong writing background or English reading.
I
was very good with science.
It might make you better to some degree, you know?
I said my friend once said that I should do like go see shows. This would take a lot of time, and I'm like, if I could monetize this, then great. But I could go see shows, drink afterwards, and have like drunk theater reviews, and
Right.
then edit those together.
Nice.
And then I'm like, then again, I will be burning bridges because there are things that are
Right.
like, that person was awful again. You know, like or something like.
Let me tell you what I really think about your stinking play.
They need some acting class. No, I'm kidding.
So
But overall, I do really like.
well,
stuff.
I like the fact that you admit that you could not write effectively or basically you said you very proudly put
Yeah.
hands on hip and went science.
Science.
So, yeah, basically you're saying you could, if you wanted to, you could make meth, but you couldn't write Macbeth.
Yeah, I could not.
Before
no.
it was all said and done.
I could probably try. I used to like creative writing, but I'm like, I don't know. Like I think there's an art to like writing reviews, and people know, they know how to like, I don't know, constructing a.
Sure.
I don't have
No,
any.
but
like,
that's I like. I think that would be
we-
good because you'd be like the everyday
Yeah, we-
guy, everyman
good
guy,
everyday,
like
everyman.
And
using words that I knew they meant and that kind of stuff.
and after all these years of going to shows, have you become at all jaded, or is each time do you go in sometimes with expectations, knowing that okay, I know the people in this cast and I know the play, and,
100%.
yeah. So do you go in with expectations, or
Yeah.
do you go in low and kind of rise?
Either. I said sometimes I'm like, I don't call. I don't call the awards. I never say anyone's the best. On any award, it's always like, if you notice, like anything I do, I'm like, it's local performer of the year. It's local the production of the year. I'm like, I don't say you're the best because I don't know if I'm the best judge of that. But it's a lot of it is too, I think, with live theater or a live, play, musical, whatever you go into, your day can totally affect your mood going into that and expectations. Like you said, like I'll know, like, oh my God, this is this company doing this show with all these actors I love. This is just going to be amazing. So then, of course, if it's not amazing, you're like, oh, that was fine. But then you go into another one, you're like, oh, this is like this company, they don't always do the greatest thing, and you go and you're like, oh, we'll see what it's like. And I'm like,
well,
wow,
not to mention,
this is really
So that's interesting. So when the Jebbies are awarded on April the 9th,
yes,
it's not best actor, best actress, best production. It's not the best is not in the.
it's my favorite.
It's your favorite.
That's I will say it. It's my favorite from the year. Who made the biggest impression for me for the year?
How many awards are there in total for the
For local theater, there's 13.
There's 13 awards that will be presented the night of the Jebbies.
You're presenting the first one, so
I what?
you're gonna do the first one.
I'm the first
You
one
and-
right
you
out of the
and-
gate.
You and Krista Stoffer. So.
Oh, I'm doing
set
it
the
with
stage.
Krista.
I like that.
Wow.
What category?
What? Yeah. What category? Thank you,
It's
John.
Supporting. Oh shit! Shoot.
It's okay.
Supporting female in a play.
Supporting female.
Oh, it's
in
not
a
best
play.
tree.
Best inanimate object.
Best.
Not best. Inanimate object
No,
of
my
the
favorite.
year.
My favorite inanimate object. And do I have an envelope?
Yeah, that's an envelope.
There's an envelope
I
to
make
open
that
up?
myself.
You made up everything yourself.
I do make
What
the
do they
envelope
win?
myself.
What is the winner? Like a trophy?
It's a crystal award that I get from Crystal Classics, the local company, and it's engraved and everything. They just came in today. So.
When did the tide turn? When did the Jebbies become this thing? Because I tell you, like before I knew you, and before I knew anything about the Jebbies, I'll be completely candid and honest. I was kind of pissed off at you and the Jebbies. Not you personally, because I didn't know you. I didn't know you personally, but we were premiering our film, The Street Where We Live, the same night as the Jebbies.
We can't go because it's
Yeah, and people said we can't be there. It's the Jebbies. I'm going the what? They goes the Jebbies, and John Osbeck, who had a small part in our film, was one of those people that didn't make it to the premiere because he was either nominated or presenting a fucking Jebby that night and didn't make it. And that's not just one. There were at least a dozen or more people.
Easily, yeah.
We had a lot of theater background people that were in the film. We had a Ralph Scott, John Osbeck, Rick Napoli. We had a bunch of people that do both film and theater that opted to go to the Jebbies instead of coming to see this film that we worked our asses
And the
off.
people who didn't go to the Jebbies cut out early so they could make the
after party.
Thank them for their support. Thank them for their support.
Yeah. So there was a time, my friend, before this podcast ever came to be, that I don't know who this fucking Jeb Bigelow is, and I don't know what the hell the Jebbies are, but they have cut it to our premiere. And then everybody told me they had a great time, and then
you wanted to be a part of it.
so look how far we've come.
I know.
I've come. Look how
you
far
hate
we've
me
come.
less. I'm so excited.
I hate you not. I hate you not at all.
Okay, good.
I hate you not at all. But at the moment,
I will happily endorse your movie premiere the next time.
I will
try not
make
to go
sure
against it.
that if we have a movie premiere, it does not conflict with the
Yeah,
Jebbies.
we'll check that
Yeah,
out.
because let's face it, something's obviously there's some stock in the Jebbies.
Yeah.
So I go back to my original question: when did the tide turn where it actually became this thing that people flocked to and attended and actually had space that you had to go to? Are there tickets? Do people buy tickets?
Yeah, it's on this is the first time it's at the Lincoln, so I have
You're
to
at the Lincoln
Yeah.
Theater. We're at the Lincoln Theater
yeah,
this
so
year.
I have to go through the Kappa venue, all the rules with that which I've never had before.
Oh my
Is it open to the
God, so
public?
how-
Yeah, it's open to the public. Yeah, I just hope I don't know. I mean, I hope they don't think I'm a big dork, so that's fine. But I'm like, it's like you go
Well, we'll mention this at the end, but in the middle of April 9th, and at what time?
at 8.
At 8.
But there's like a pre-show, like red carpet, like picture taking, and the bar opens like at 6 that night.
There you go.
So
Six.
Dino will be there at
okay, wow.
5:59.
So what do I need to get a tuxedo?
you don't have to get a tuxedo. It's normally
got
like
one
a
you can
variety.
borrow,
Some people
Ruffles.
have, but I mean, like they dress up. They do dress up. It just depends on what. There's like Grammy style, or there's like, it's normally like not a lot of tuxes, but people have rented like limos and things like that. It's just more that they make it a special night. Like they go out to dinner and then they come.
They make it. It's an event.
Yeah. It's become.
So how many people will be in attendance roughly?
I don't know. I mean, again, pre-pandemic, I had like it would be like 300 to 350.
You're kidding me? That's a lot of people.
It's been great. Very blessed. I can't imagine. It kept growing. Like for a while, I was like, it keeps growing each time.
And
it
now
blows my
I've
mind.
noticed that when people, since the pandemic kind of shut things down a little bit, the first chance people had to go out and do something and be somewhere, so you could potentially have a huge crowd on your hand because people have been jonesing
get
to
out.
go to the JEBBY'S, and if it's something that they've enjoyed and look forward to, over the years. This year,
I just want enough to pay for the venue. I'm
Break
excited
even.
with lots of people.
Yeah.
how many
but
seats?
I'm like,
How many seats does Lincoln hold?
I don't know, like 500 and some.
I bet
it's big.
You
This is like my
could
biggest,
sell out.
This is my biggest venue. I don't think
You
I'll
could sell out.
I could, but I don't think
You
I will.
could.
Well,
This podcast will get you at least 2-3 more people.
awesome. I love that.
If not anything, just people to heckle you, Dino.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It's a fun night, and I think I found a niche. I don't know why it works. I don't like. Sometimes I'm just like, it's surprising because again, it is all my opinion. But I try, and this is gonna sound as silly as it. And I think until people are there, they don't understand. Because I've had friends that have been like, "Oh, you're just think all about yourself," or blah blah blah. And I have a lot of people that are kind of Jebby haters a little bit.
You have
but
Jebby
it's like
haters.
I think so. But until they go, they don't really know what it's like. And I try, even though it's named after me, and I pick all the winners and. Of course, I'm in the opening number and blah, blah, blah. So it's a lot of me.
Stop.
There's an opening number.
Back up.
But I try to make it as little about myself as possible.
Opening number.
Yeah.
What
Are you in
is-
that number?
No,
No,
I'm
you're
not.
not in the number, no.
What does the number consist of?
It's always different things. Normally, that's like the most.
Is it a monologue? Is it a musical
it's
number?
a musical number.
It's
usually.
a musical number.
Like,
So you sing.
I am singing this year. It's not always singing this year. Like,
Okay. Are
it's-
you allowed to say what it is in this
I'm
podcast?
gonna
You wanna-
wait.
you
I'm
wanna
gonna
save it?
wait.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
It's
That's
like
fine.
a. It's like a.
Is it a showstopper?
Oh, I think it's really fun. I don't know if it's a showstopper because it's not a really common song. It's a song from like the last year, but it's a pop song.
It's a
but
pop
it's
song.
like it's a
Is it
it's
you
a
or is
drag
it-
race pop
or-
song too. So I'm like, it's a deep cut, but
Is it just
me-
you or
and
is it a company?
a backup
How
backup
many backup
dancers
singers?
or backup dancers.
How many backup dancers?
I have.
How many people are involved in this?
There's like
there a
eight,
band?
there's like
In
eight,
this showstopping,
there's like 8 in the opening number this time, and then
What was
there's 8 in the opening number this time.
And so you're rehearsing?
Yeah, we started on Tuesday. We have rehearsal again on
Right.
Sunday.
How's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So
I
you're
have a great choreographer. She's
so
amazing.
You're not doing all the choreography.
Oh,
you.
God, no. I would not. That's not my
Are you
specialty.
directing it at least? You
No,
have
I kind of have a lot. I edit all the video. Like, there's a lot of videos that play through the night too. I spend a lot of time interviewing local theater people. This is kind of, I think, why it works. I spend a lot of time interviewing local theater people and then putting videos together of them talking about their fellow actors. And like saying all these nice things, so it's not just my opinion, it's everyone else thinks, oh, I thought you were great, and obviously you're nominated, but all these other people are like, oh my god, they're amazing, blah blah blah. So it's like that. I spend a lot of time putting all that together, so that's my stress, like, is there.
Helps fill the gaps too.
So,
Yeah.
an opening number before the awards actually start, and are there other numbers?
There's 4 performances.
4 performances
this
within
time
the show.
throughout the evening. Yeah, I have like the 4 of the 5 musicals nominated for local production of the year are all performing. So
Wow.
yeah.
So
like the cast, like the actual.
Yeah, like one is like a lot of the cast because it's a locally
Yeah.
written production that's nominated, and then the other one's like a cast like there's like 5 people in the cast of Ain't Misbehavin'. That's the whole cast just performing, and then so it's like it's pretty cool, and I have a band, like a 4-person band band.
I've been trying not to smoke,
Yeah, you're fine.
but I'm getting excited.
okay,
So
yeah.
when I get excited, and I gotta have this.
We all handle our excitement differently. I know.
So this isn't like we get in and present 13 awards and we're out.
No,
This
it's
is
a night.
this is a production.
You
great.
don't necessarily. You're done really early. You don't have to. You
Well,
don't
no,
have to be.
I'm gonna stick around. Look.
You can start drinking.
Yeah, I could do that.
That
I
was
could do
it too.
for
'Cause
sure,
I've
right?
had Krista late in the night before, and she gets a little drunk. No, sorry, Krista, if you're listening.
no, I told her that you were coming
Yeah.
on this podcast, so she'll be listening to this one.
Yeah.
It's okay. So no. I'm not splitting. I'm going full Jebby.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like manage my time. I had to
That
I
doesn't
was
sound right, does
full
it?
Jebby.
You're going
It
full
sounds
Jebby.
perfect.
Doesn't
Yeah.
that go? Yeah. I went full Jebby.
I just had one like 6 months ago, like
What?
a rescheduled Jebby Awards. Like, so the stuff from like 2019, we had an award show planned. I had an award show planned in 2020 that I had to cancel and kept postponing and everything like that. And I was like, but the whole big part of like what makes them work too is it's like this, where all these different people from different theater companies come together, and it's a night of celebration and like lifting everyone up is what I try to do. And so I didn't want to do like a virtual one. So I just kept pushing it off. So finally we got to have one in like September, which was great, but I got really drunk because it was a long time coming, and I tend to cry because I'm like, it is weird. Like when I'm like because I host it, and you're just like, I can't believe all these people are here for me, like, or for this. Like, again, I tried again. It's more than that. It's obviously, but they do. It's nice to feel like people support you, and
You love me.
you love. I am. I'm Sally Field every time.
No, but that's interesting. So you get it on both ends.
We're not talking about my sexuality, Dino.
Jeez.
Yeah. If we want this podcast to go another
That's
hour,
the after party.
And that's it, folks.
Do I need to mark that time?
Sorry.
Don't edit that part out. Leave that part in.
Put that on Instagram.
Leave that part in.
That was good timing, Jeff.
That's
you.
good. It's good.
I'm smart like 10%, or funny 10% of the time.
That's awesome. But no, but I kind of dig the fact, because I mentioned the fact that over the years you have these customers that have come to love you and respect you and feel comfortable that you're at the pharmacy when they come to get their medicines. And you've also managed to do that with your passion for theater. People, you said it with just the proper amount of humility, but people are kind of like digging the fact that you're the host, and they are kind of coming for you as well. I mean, you put this amazing thing together repeatedly year after year, and it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. It wasn't a novelty that just kind of died away. It continues to grow. So yeah, that's got to make you feel pretty good.
It's crazy. It's stressful, but excuse me, it is really exciting. Like, it's been fun. Like, I don't know. I really love the years that I had a couple years at the Bluestone. That was a big financial risk each time, and the fact that people came, and then it's like, that's just a cool venue. It was really loud, so I'm glad. Then we went to the NPAC for a few years. I don't know. It's really cool to have, like, it'll be weird. I'm interested to see what this one will be, because probably for the last 6 years, it's been very Golden Globe style, where people sit at tables and have that feel, and I'm like,
right.
This is like
Theater.
This is theater. So I'm like, okay, like, all right, we'll see how this goes. And
This is a marquee, and
and it kind of happened because the NPAC sold. Like, I was at the NPAC for 3 years, and then they sold to the city, and because I had already, that's where I was planning on having it, and then got sold out and everything, and I had to kind of scramble. And luckily I have thankfully knowing lots of theater people, I have a really good friend who works for Kappa and was like, do you have any of your like venues that are open? Like, and then the Lincoln, I'm like, well, I'd looked at it before. I'm like, I guess I'll try it.
It's a beautiful.
I mean, it is gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And
theater.
the screen is giant. I keep telling people when I interview them, or when I've interviewed them at my house, that I'm like, the screen is big. Like, it's like the whole proscenium.
Yeah,
like,
no.
you're going to see a lot of your face.
I've done a few events at the Lincoln Theater, and you talk about a restoration that you're thrilled actually happened and came to be. It's a gorgeous theater. It's a gorgeous theater. The people that are nominated, do people know that they're nominated prior to? I try to, do you send
anymore
out?
Now? I mean, they know because of
how do they
their
find
friends.
out that they're nominated?
I normally do it over a 13-day period where I announce a nomination a day, and I tag them and say like I try to. I'm a dork. I like the statistics of it. I'll be like, oh, they've been nominated. They've won this many times before, and they're nominated this many. Like, this is their third nomination, and they won in this year for this show.
You're thorough.
And, I just like doing that. So I announce it on Facebook because it's the easiest way for me. If I was,
do the nominations come out at a certain time, like the Oscars and the Tonys? And the Emmys?
13 the 13 days in a row. Yeah,
okay.
But it's like, it depends. I normally try to. Previously, I've tried to like where I can plan it around the time when the tickets would go on sale. So I'm like, at least I'm okay. So this is so now I'm like,
buy tickets now.
Yeah.
So at the recording of this podcast, you've already announced a few, correct?
all the nominees are
all
out.
the nominees.
I've actually started to help draw buzz. Hopefully, I don't know how Facebook works and sometimes, but I've started like there's a breakthrough performer of the year and then there's an entertainer of the year. So like right now, every day I'm releasing a video where people are talking nice things about that person.
What are some of the nominations that you can talk about?
So the
Well, we mentioned I have best supporting.
nope, no best.
No. I have your favorite
local performer of the year, supporting female in a play is what
supporting
you'll do.
female in
so
a play.
for each like
because I say actors, I don't mean they're all actors.
yeah
Yes.
that's the hard part. Well, I won't talk about like
So what show is nominated for favorite local production?
for like the musical this year it's there's a locally written show by Imagine Productions called Second to Sherlock and that's up for it. There's Hilliard Arts Council did Something Rotten. There's a new theater company called Trinity Theater Company that did Ain't Misbehavin'. Their CCT did A Christmas Story at the Lincoln in December, and then it's Short North Stage's I call it Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein because they did that. So those are the 5. There's always just 5 nominees in those categories. So that's local production of the year musical. There's also local production of the year play.
Okay.
I used to put them together, but then I pulled them apart. Kind of like how it started was like my first ever local category was like local performer of the year. That was it. So then then I was like the next year I did local performer of the year male, local performer of the year female, in the very cisgender way, I guess now.
Yeah.
And then I split them into as the more I kept seeing, I was like, well, it's kind of
I need to recognize this.
yeah. So then it became plays
was,
versus musicals, and like that's where kind of 8 of the categories are all like supporting lead, female, male.
And do you know who won already?
Yeah, I mean
Okay,
they got
so-
delivered today.
Okay.
I said as soon as I it's
is there an accounting firm like Price
It
and
is.
Waterhouse,
Yeah,
like at
it's
the
just me.
Oscars and so forth,
But I'm
that
like-
keeps it in a sealed briefcase and nobody's seen
I
them
guess
until
if someone wants to come break in
until
my
the
house,
night of
they're
the
there.
Jebbies. Do you bring out the accountant with the briefcase?
No, I should. I'd be like,
That'd be funny.
no.
That would be fun.
Yeah. No, they're done. I said as soon as I send it to the engraver, that's kind of my decision. Because I'll hem and haw about a couple of different people where I'm like, oh, it could be this person or it could be this person, and I'm like, just get
Do
it
it.
done.
Pull
Do you
Yeah,
ever
just
second
pull the
guess
trigger.
yourself? Do you ever second guess yourself?
Oh,
Nah, he's past
never.
that.
Not for like the award. Like there's sometimes later where you're like, well, maybe I should have
Right.
went the other way, but it's what it is. And I'm like, it is again one person's opinion. So, and it's my opinion at that time, I guess. I don't know.
But isn't it amazing? It's amazing to me. Is it amazing to you that it's just one man's opinion,
Yes.
and yet all these people
100%.
are so excited about winning a Jebby?
Yeah,
I,
I think-
mean, that is kind of a feather in their theater cap
Yeah.
to win a Jebby.
Yeah.
Now, have people gotten upset thinking they should have won and didn't win?
That
No,
looks like a
no
yes.
comment. Yes.
Yeah.
It depends on what variation. I'm not upset is a different. I hear stuff like most of the time it's not directly upset with me, even though I would be the person to complain to.
Right.
Normally it's not. I hear it secondhand where I'll be like, this person got really upset, or this person thought it was going to be them, or I have had a few. I'm not talking about that though, where people have messaged me though about
Oh, no.
stuff. So where I'm
People
like,
have actually
again,
messaged you and complained or griped
yes,
over
but
over a loss.
And normally I just like I try to think of how to like frame my response.
Isn't
and be
it? Doesn't the cliche fall into place that it was
A privilege to be nominated.
It was
Yeah.
a privilege to be nominated.
No, I don't normally. I just say, well, you're complaining to the right person. I'm like, it is me. Like I made the decision. It's not like a team of people that we all like got together. I'll let after some of the interviews, I'll let that inform me a little bit. Like maybe if I thought like I'll nominate if people didn't love it as much as I did, I'll be like, oh, okay, that might direct me a little bit.
Right.
Or if people
Sure.
like I've given some awards to things that I'm directly involved in, kind of, and normally that takes a lot. But I've had some where people have won, but I'm like, everyone's like, that was the best performance, hands down, the whole year. Then you're
Right.
like, well, I feel like I'm not crazy that this person should.
When you get the
this.
complaints, do you feel bad?
No. It's just weird. Like that's the part where you're like, I don't understand. That's where I'm like, it's that combination of, it's one person's opinion. That's great, but it is one person's opinion. I don't know where I'm like,
Right.
they're taking it way too seriously. Which I like that people, I like that people take it seriously. It is really like it blows my mind, but it's at the same time you're like, well, you're taking it too seriously.
Yeah.
And tell me more about this after party. Where does that take place?
Will
be at the Lincoln as well?
I've not been invited since the Bluestone. We had it there. It won't be at the Lincoln, no, because that.
So what do you mean you haven't been invited?
No, I mean there's people go to different things.
Oh.
I went to like Club Diversity or something like that afterwards.
So
It
there's
just
not a
depends.
scheduled after party.
I don't have a scheduled after party. Where you
I
wanna
don't
go?
know.
Where you want to go? Do you know?
I'm
I'll be.
asking.
You tell me where you want to
I'm
go.
a
I'll go.
newbie. Show.
I'm a newbie to the Jebby's.
Yeah.
Once we have it
I don't
here,
wanna know where
let's
I'm
do it
supposed to
here.
go. Huh?
I don't know, John. Where have you went afterwards? I don't know.
All the time you stayed there.
Oh, well, that's a Bluestone though. We didn't do that at the end pack.
Well, we hung around at the.
You hang out. There's people do hang out at the end and get some like drunky pictures taken and stuff like that. Sometimes it depends. Like if Jerry Schaefer takes a lot of.
Does there become almost a quiet, spontaneous swell where people decide this is where we're going to go and that's where the after party is? It just kind of becomes a contagion of some sort.
I suppose, yeah. If people are still, it depends how late. Like last one was bad. Like I will admit that drunk me being like, oh my God, the pandemic, I'll just put all the video stuff in and have all these performers. And I was like, it was no intermission because I'm like, people can go to the bar whenever they want. They can just leave, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, when I saw at the end, which I don't know how much I remember, like right at the end, like my mom came and said, can I say,
You're sure,
it?
say anything you want.
I said fuck more than she's ever heard me say. Oh, wow. And it was because I kept saying this one presenter's Jennifer Myers. I was like, Jennifer fucking Myers. Apparently I said that like, I don't know. She said like 30 sometimes. I'm like, wow, okay. Because I was, yeah. So anyway, that one was so long because I was so talky.
He
because I
said
was
fuck
drunk.
every other word. Yeah.
And it was, yeah.
What is drunk?
That one was like 3.5 hours. Or
3.5 hours. So
40,
what is
like,
the average running time?
I try
for
to
the
keep it
Jebby's?
at like within like this. I have to, because it's Kappa, I have to add an intermission back in. So I'm going for like 2.5 at the most, 3 hours. Like 3 hours to me is a long time.
Right.
I've sit through shows that have been that long and you're just like, so hopefully, and I'm trying.
But you're breaking it up with the musical
Yeah,
numbers
exactly.
and so forth and
It
so
is like some people said it was great. It just depends what you're. So that's the funny thing about like if you don't have like it's a lot of videos about theater people you might not know. So I guess it's that's where you're like, well, I like this.
It's a whole world that I
You'll be watching,
honestly
you're like,
know nothing about. So I have to ask geeky questions.
Yeah, just bring a little flask or something. Don't tell the Lincoln.
Duh.
Last year I did have because of I'd had flasks up at the presenter place where I'd let people take a drink out of a flask, but then COVID happened. So then I was like in the fall I did personalized shot glasses, but then I was like, well,
Yeah.
Then someone's like, you don't need to do that, but I was like, it was nice.
Airplane
that
bottles.
was really fun.
To do. Okay, my another geeky question: when people are accepting their award, if they go too long, do they get played off?
If only.
If only. No, but just so
There's been long. That is the time thing you can't control.
So you
Nobody
do
with a
not
broom.
cut anybody off.
That
No.
or like I try to tell people time. Like I have people for the performances. I have the directors introducing the performances, and I say like a minute or less. I'm trying to plan time, but it's like you can never always like people take time. Like they're up there and they're like
It's their
blah, blah, blah.
moment.
Yeah,
It's your
which I
moment.
love. I do love an acceptance speech. I think that's part of one of my favorite. Like I'm like, oh, it's so sweet. But then you don't think about the people. You're like, oh, I do wish I could give everyone an award, but then it would mean way less.
Right.
If everyone got an award.
It's got to have significance. It's got to have weight.
Yeah.
It's got to mean something.
How do you
right?
balance like? Do you see do you ever see any of the performances more than once? I mean, because
No.
the best part about
He's gotta
theater
go to 2,
is
3 shows
well,
a
I just
week.
say the best part of theater is that it's live. So maybe you see the show of the year, but they just have an off night.
I've had that where all these people will talk about this performance. I'm like, well, I didn't see the best. Or I saw them flub some lines. And you're
Right,
like, I just
right,
take you
right,
out,
right.
And you're like,
I saw Into the Woods 5 out of 7 times when my daughter was the witch
okay.
in the Upper Arlington production of Into the
Ooh,
Woods.
the witch. That's a great
My
role.
that's the
That's a
role.
great
Are
role.
you
Yeah,
kidding
yeah,
me? That is the role, and I watched that 5 out of 7 times. Watched my daughter be, and I wept every time. I mean, with just joy and pride. She was awesome. She was also a theater major.
Oh, nice.
She went to Marymount Manhattan.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. She
I
got
definitely
she
probably
started
know.
at Otterbein and decided that she wanted to audition at Marymount Manhattan.
Okay.
And I was at that point in my life where I'm like, baby girl, whatever you want to do. There was that part of me that was like, go girl, go. Then there was the pay for it part of me that was like, don't get in, don't get in, don't get in. Otterbine's
Pharmacy
great.
school,
Otterbine's
pharmacy
great.
school.
Yeah, 30 at that time, $35,000 a year. This is
Otterbine's
back in
expensive too, jeez.
this is back in 2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I probably have some people that I'm sure she knows some of the same people. That's what I always like. Otterbein is a big connector in terms of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otterbine's are great.
I went to Ohio Northern, so I was like,
their productions are great.
Yeah, their Otterbein does some great
So
stuff.
yeah, she got into Marymount. She went there and she was the joke I always make, and I'm sorry, baby girl, this is the joke I always make. She was I always say that she was a theater minor but a drama major.
She's just experiencing her emotions.
No, she would laugh at that. She would laugh at that.
Look at her dad is.
Yeah, right.
What is the movie where it's like
Which my daughter, I will sing my daughter's praises till the cows come home. She is a talented kid. She's an amazing singer. She's an amazing songwriter. She's an amazing actress, and she's not acting nearly as enough as she should be. Or right now she is the GM of a rock and roll club in New York City called Arlene's Grocery, and she's killing it. I mean, she's brought this place has risen from the ashes during the pandemic when it almost closed, and now it's open, and she's brought it back to a place of prominence. But she's behind the scenes now, and it's like she should, and she's, like I said, she's killing it. I mean, if people want to get into that club, they got to go through her, and she's tough, but she could so easily still be the front person as well. And like, I know that she'll get back to that at some point. She will, but she's amazing. And she says she got it from me. No, she got it from me. She got something from her mother. Her mother was a dancer. Okay. And while her father has a flair for the comedic, and
I think I said the dramatic,
and the dramatic, and the dramatic as well. I go back to the thing I said earlier in the podcast. I had not done theater. I had one line in the 6th grade Christmas play, and the line was actually from a song, but we actually recited it. We did a play version. My line was, "Let the star in the east that led us shine on your tree tonight." Let the star in the east that led us
Right.
shine on your tree tonight. Okay. When it came time for me to say that line, I said, "Let the star in the east that's lettuce shine on your tree tonight."
Lettuce.
Let the star in the east that's lettuce shine on your tree tonight. Yes. The night that the baby Jesus was born, I said, "Let the star in the east that is lettuce shine on your tree tonight."
that is lettuce.
That is
I
lettuce.
thought you were saying lettuce and just lettuce. I'm like, it just sounds
No,
like
that is lettuce.
The
Shine on
veggie.
your tree tonight.
And for the record, for the people listening at home, you did have to write that line down so you didn't flub it up again.
You were very dramatic when you were telling it. I mean, you're born for the stage.
What was your favorite part? What was the favorite role you ever had on stage?
Probably Malcolm in the Full Monty. I'm thinking right now. Not because you had to get naked, but he was just like kind of an awkward kid. And,
You would have got naked anyway.
Yeah.
Did you nail it? Did you feel
I
like you
did.
nailed it?
I won an award, but not a Jebby.
I want a Jeb. You didn't get a Jebby?
I want. People say that all the time. They're like, "Oh, you should give yourself a Jebby." I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I don't.
What about like a career?
Career. I feel like that's the award. Is getting to host it.
Favorite male performer in a local production.
Fail-
It's me.
Yeah.
No,
I
you
joke, I
can't.
was like,
You
just
can't.
give it all to me. And then they'd be like, people like, what? No, they wouldn't. I don't. I try not to.
What was your worst performance? What was the worst job you ever did on stage, and then had to keep doing it for a whole run?
Ever?
Yeah. Ever.
Well, it was probably when I was younger. Probably in college because I would do summer theater at Ohio Northern. And it probably Jesus Christ Superstar. Because I was like, I was just an ensemble. I was one of the
chorus.
apostles, and then I was like, I whipped Jesus. Like, was one of the two guys that were like did that, which was cool to get to do.
Dun, dun, dun,
We didn't
dun,
really
dun,
whip him,
dun,
but it's
dun,
like
dun,
doing the
dun,
whip
dun,
sound
dun.
that was really like learning
One.
that and do that.
That's a great scene.
But we definitely partied a lot, like talking about coming into a show where you're like, oh, I was hungover, or, like that kind of thing. So I'm sure I didn't give my best performances sometimes.
Did Jesus drink a lot? Did Jesus drink a lot?
The guy who played Jesus, he drank a lot. We did it we rebooted it in the fall, and they didn't bring him back. So.
That's in the ensemble. What I'm talking about, an actual
A performance that I did?
significant role that you tanked.
That I tanked.
In your opinion,
I've never tanked a role. Dino.
I
I have always been
There it is.
fantastic. But if I would. What I think
If
maybe.
there's one that you took exception to, like I wish I could have done it. If
Yeah.
I could do it again, I would do this.
Oh, for sure. When I was, my first, I didn't get a lot of leads in college because I wasn't a theater major. So they would add me in there.
So you had to be a major
To get roles.
You couldn't be a theater minor and still
not
audition
usually.
for a role.
I
because-
auditioned, but I wouldn't. I would.
But they would show that kind of prejudice if you were a theater minor.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let you. If you were the
Well,
best
it's
person
an
for the
educational
part.
thing, but it's an educational thing. Like,
No. If you were the best person for the part as a theater minor and you're auditioning for the same part as a theater major and you're the best person for the part, you're telling me because you were a minor and not a major, they wouldn't give you the part? That's bullshit.
well, that's just how. That's
That's
college.
why I'm not in theater.
Yeah.
Because it's bullshit.
Well, that's
What?
that's educational theater.
There's one asshole making all the decisions for everybody.
That's me. Should I just have you come in the opening? that's the opening I'm missing. Here's this asshole. Maybe
So what, in their minds, they're thinking, "Oh, well, you're just a theater minor.
Well, yeah.
You're not really taking this
Well, no, but I mean,
seriously.
like,
If
I
you
have-
were taking this seriously,
Then I'd be a
you would
major.
You would be
Yeah.
a major.
By the way, now look at him. He's selling
Yeah.
Sudafed to
That's
all,
right.
all the
Yeah.
cool
Yeah.
kids.
I want to find the guy that didn't give you the part, and I want to see him come to get some Sudafed behind the counter. Fuck off, motherfucker. I was a theater minor.
Imagine that. It's lunch hour.
Boom! The steel door comes down. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got a little.
My worst would be probably my first lead would be my worst.
What was your first lead?
How to succeed in business without really
I
trying.
love that. I love that musical.
And I did it in like Lima, Ohio, at a little community theater there. And I just, instead of doing the summer show at school that year, I was like, well, I'd heard this was happening, so I'd auditioned there, and I got the lead really easily. Which not really. Maybe it wasn't easy. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. But when I was there, I was like, oh, this is like community theater. You're like, oh, they don't know. I learned really quickly the difference between like community theater and educational theater. Where like the
there's-
budget and everything is like, oh, people don't take this as seriously.
There's a
Okay.
voiceover in How to Succeed. There's a backstage person in How to Succeed.
You should do that.
I did that.
Oh, okay.
I did that for Columbus Children's Theater.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, I saw that. Did I see that?
I
had
don't know.
this.
I did
Krista
that for,
looped into that? Was that right?
my daughter was
Reading the book.
My
Reading-
daughter.
Oh wait, what year is it? Okay.
Yeah, I did that for Columbus Children's Theater.
Oh, that might be a while ago then.
No, well, long while ago. My
If you
daughter
said-
was in high school.
If you said your daughter was in high school, okay.
Yeah,
Maybe I
my
didn't see
daughter
that one.
graduated in 2000.
You'd be great for that, like the voice.
It was fun. It was fun. Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah. I saw my daughter do that. She was in that.
Who did she play?
I don't remember. I remember
she
her
a lead?
playing. I remember her in Greece
was
at
she in?
Columbus Children's.
Rizzo?
Yes.
Why is it a bad thing? Rizzo's like the best part.
I know Rizzo's a great
No
part.
one wants to be Sandy.
But it's a great part. But then I had to watch my daughter just excessively make out
Ethically.
with
Well, that's true.
with a guy. So I was like, they look like
She was faking
They
it.
don't even look like they're acting anymore.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of hormones.
She was great.
I
She
was
great as Rizzo.
Will Parker in Oklahoma in high school.
What?
And
I'm so jealous. That's what I should have. I wanted to be that.
and I got to make out with a senior. It was awesome. And by make out,
You
it
were
was
in Kansas City.
yeah, dude. I always
You got
did
to sing Kansas City.
Yeah, got to Kansas City
Yeah,
on a
everything's up
Thursday.
there.
Da, da, da,
And
da,
the
da,
burlesque,
da,
the,
da.
the burlesque show that you went and saw. I was so jealous. I really wanted to be that role. I was so
Yeah,
sad.
it was fun. Well, and it was by
against
default.
you.
One of my best friend's older brother got the role, and then he decided to bail last second. So they're like, "All right, Hansberry, you're in."
There you go.
But I got to make out with the senior on stage. It was hot.
Are you a good vocalist? Can you sing?
That's well.
You-
I
you
guess
sing well?
I took some lessons in college, but I'd always sung and I just didn't know I could. My dad was in a band and sang in a band, like when he was younger, and then he did it. Yeah, growing up, he was in and out of bands.
Does your family have a theater background?
No, not theater.
Not at
But
all.
my dad sang, singing in a band. But
Singing
he
in a
would
band.
drink he would have a glass and sit, And when he got older, he would just sit and like close his eyes and sing like that. But he's a good singer. And that's kind of where I got
like
it
Phil
from.
Collins now.
Yeah, probably a little bit like that, honestly. Yeah. So
And,
that's where that's the my mom. My mom can act. She's theatrical. She's just not on stage doing it. I think.
Right.
But in a sweet way. Everyone seems to love her. So I wouldn't say like she's like dramatic.
Yeah, she'll
but
be there at the.
I think so. I'm trying to like. She always comes. She's come like all but once since she's the first year. Like, yeah. The first time she came, it made me cry. Again, makes you cry. Like you're just like, oh, and it's like because you're seeing like because you can say so much. Again, it's like to me, it's this weird thing where you're there and you're like, or you talk about it and you're like, unless people see it, I'm like, I don't. It's hard to believe that it's real. Sometimes like that people really get involved and then it's like this moment and I don't know. It's yeah. And it seems to mean a lot to people. And again, I think I've talked to people about that, and it's like it's not necessarily my opinion, but the fact that they get to like relive their show they did, or like the performances will be really excited because they'll get to redo a show that they worked on. That just doesn't happen locally. It's not like we're not the Tony, we're not this. You don't get to like re-experience a show you've been in and be with that cast again, or you don't get to like thank people for work you did 6 months ago. So I think that's a big part of what makes it
what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. There's nothing. Like it.
There's another. I mean, there's a couple other awards like in town. Like
I don't know about them.
Well, the Broadway World Awards are online. And that's a popularity vote. And then there's there is or was the Theater Roundtable, but I don't know what's happening with them.
Granted, I'm not in that world.
They didn't
I don't know it.
yeah.
But for years now, when was our premiere? 5 years ago? 4 years ago?
4 years ago. I think.
For the last 4 or 5 years, I know the JEBBY'S.
You at least knew. Yeah.
I know the JEBBY'S. I know my friends presented the JEBBY'S. My friend John Osbeck sitting on the couch. Ralph Scott had presented at the JEBBY's.
Yes.
I know
Ralph's
the JEBBY's.
won one. Ralph has won a JEBBY. Ralph is JEBBY for a musical even. And he didn't even sing.
Ralph doesn't sing.
Yeah, he was in Spelling Bee and he was like the Catco and he won. Because that was more of like an improv-y vice principal. He was great. I'm going
to put you on the spot. My friend John Osbeck is sitting on the couch watching this podcast. Has he been nominated for a JEBBY?
He has been nominated.
Has he ever won?
He's not won.
Oh, he's a really good actor.
He is a really good actor.
He's a really good actor.
I mean, yes, he is a really good actor.
Why didn't he win? Was there somebody better? There was somebody better.
There was just that not better, but I just liked the. I mean, I don't know. I think
Judi Dench was up for the same role.
Judi Dench,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm taking this
He
opportunity
did.
to totally mess with him.
He's
while he's sitting back.
John's always great, and John he's a sweetheart.
He's one of my one of my best friends because I remember when he was nominated. I go, "Did you win?" He went, "No."
Sorry. I don't even remember. Like I don't necessarily remember. I don't remember who won.
Do you still do movies and TV shows and songs and stuff?
I do.
But are they part of the show at all?
They're not part of the show.
JEBBY'S.
No.
That's a separate.
Although this year I'm behind, so this is the first year where I'm like, I
Okay,
haven't finished it all.
just for shits and grins, did you have a favorite? Let's step away from theater for just for a
Yeah.
moment.
Oh,
Did you have a
100%.
favorite movie this year?
Yeah,
What was it?
Coda.
Coda.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
Coda was my favorite movie, but I'm like that is
Good
very
for
much
you
mine.
for not going with the cliche West
Yeah.
Side Story.
No, I love West. I did love West Side Story. I thought it was really well done.
It
And
was
I mean, I think
extremely well done.
I think he could have almost won director. I think Steven Spielberg.
I
Probably,
thought-
if you hadn't won before, I think he would have won. Like that's like I think
West Side
I think
Story
he
was
deserved
great.
it.
I love West Side
I
Story.
think it was beautiful.
And and Coda, we talked about this in an earlier podcast because we had Hope Madden and George Wolf.
I listened to that one.
We did, and Coda was like the first hour. I was like, let's go, and then the last 40 minutes of it, they emotionally grab you by the throat and suck you
Spoiler
in.
alert, though.
I love Licorice Pizza, and I'm not always.
Yeah.
Paul Thomas, like he doesn't always get me, but that one got. I was like, oh, I really love the running. Every time I'm like, oh, they're running again.
They're running
my
again.
favorite, one of my, I love Zola, and that didn't get nominated for anything, so I highly recommend Zola if you didn't see it.
right.
And it's like it's a movie like you would never expect, and it's based off of like someone's tweets that
I'm
they had
gonna
done in real
text
life, and it's like I can't remember like.
Okay,
It was really good.
you
It's
like
about like
Haim?
two
So
strippers.
Coda
that go-
was your favorite movie?
It's two strippers that went.
if
down
there was
to
a favorite
Florida.
TV show this year, what was it? Do you do TV as well?
I haven't decided yet, but I'm like
But
probably
what-
Ted
what-
Lasso. 'Cause
Ted Lasso?
even
Great
though,
choice.
Even though season 2 wasn't quite season 1, it is.
I
See,
said the same thing.
I
said the same
It
thing.
is the best.
I totally disagree.
And I'm not a sports person, and to get me to love a show about like basically around a sports thing,
And
it's just the show. I mean, I think they're so smart, and they don't like.
It's very smart.
They don't pull. They don't like even the first season, which I think one of the best moments is when, is it Rebecca is her name? Like she like admits to doing all the bad
Yeah,
things she
yeah,
did.
it
Like you
does.
would think that would be like drawn out or something. I'm like, nope, she admitted it.
He
forgave
forgave her. Yep.
Move
Love
on.
it even more. You're like, this is the show that you need.
And I heard a lot of people say that because I came to Ted Lasso late,
Mm-hmm.
and so I binged like season 1 and season 2 almost right next to each other. And I heard comments about season 2 was kind of let that after season 1. I loved season 2. I
Yeah.
thought
I
season
really loved
2
season
was
2 as well.
just as strong as season 1, and left me with anger and frustration.
What's
on
the middle
fucking
act?
Nate.
It's
Yeah,
the middle
Nate.
act.
Yeah,
I
right.
loved Nate.
Right,
Like,
and
But I like-
anticipating season 3.
What We Do in the Shadows. I do love that show too.
That's
fun, too.
hysterical.
I
That's
haven't been
really
caught up
well
on that
done.
for a while, but I love those.
It is a
guys.
really
so funny.
well done show.
Taki Wakiti.
And Mrs. Maisel is always good. Like there's
Yeah.
certain shows that
I like that
the bad
show.
thing with like TV, there's so much.
So much TV.
Like to me,
God.
I'm like I'm still like the top 40 pop kind of guy, so that's easy. I see all the Oscar nominated movies because my other half loves that as well, so that makes that easy. But I'm like TV, there's just so much. Like
There's
things
no way you could keep up.
like I'm like I can't like I don't want I would love to
It's
see
the
some
new
of,
golden
like,
age. It's
But
the
if I'm
golden
gonna
age.
see like
And is your other half in the
Yellowstone?
theater as much as you
no,
are? No.
he gets interviewed for it. Like he'll be on the interview things
He'll
because
be
he
on the
sees
interview.
he goes and sees a lot of stuff because of me. But he loves movies.
He loves movies.
loves
And you
movies
love
and music.
movies, so that is the common.
We did have a lot of that, yeah. But he
Well,
gets,
that's not the only common bond
no,
between
it's not
you
the only.
two.
But he gets mad that I like. He wants to watch TV shows that I'm like, wait, you started it without me. But then I'm like so bad.
Do you have
with, like,
that? Do you cheat on
I-
movies and TVs? Do
I
you lie?
don't.
Do you lie when
I
you watch
don't.
a show and
No.
say I haven't seen
because
it
I
yet?
tend not to. Like he would be him.
Yeah.
Like I'm too busy going to see plays or
Right.
like doing stuff like that, and he's like
So
working from home and getting to watch things.
So you get upset when he watches something without you?
Sometimes if it's something I was interested in, but normally I probably try to guilt him a little bit. Anyway,
And does he
because
try
it's
to
like,
lie? Ever?
Oh,
Does
no,
he try to
baby, I
fake it?
never saw
Does he
that.
fake it and watch it the
he
second
doesn't.
time?
No, he
no,
would
he
watch it again, or he'd be like, "You just catch up." And I'm like, "Okay, like it's fine." Like I sometimes like it though because he'll watch a show and be like, because I'm like, I don't know if I want to see it, and then he'll say, "Oh, you should really watch this," and then I'll be like, "Okay, I'll watch it." Like the Sex Lives of College Girls that was on.
Yeah, my wife watched that.
That's really good.
I
was
caught a little bit of it. Yeah.
really surprised how much I liked that. Or
It was like a relatable.
Well, that's
girls.
a title. That's a title that's either gonna turn you off or draw you in.
it is a little scary title, but it's actually really well
It's
done.
like girls, but relatable.
But where you like the people, like
Oh, yeah,
to
yeah,
me,
yeah, yeah.
girls
Girl-
is like I have a hard time with shows where people are not like there's no one to root for.
Am I wrong to say that I didn't like girls?
no, that's what
I don't think
people
you're
were
right. I didn't really like it.
I didn't
said,
care for it.
because it's hard because you wouldn't like any of the people. I'm like, I guess
I
the
love
one.
Allison. What's her face though?
Oh, I liked her when they gave her
was
like
that?
more to do. Allison Williams, like
Yeah.
Brian Williams' daughter. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, I got a hot
She's
for her.
she's cute. I mean,
There she is.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm not mad. Like she's cute. I like Shoshana or whatever. I thought she was the most interesting.
So you're
she
going.
is. She
you're-
was the best
you're-
actress.
You're going 24/7. You go to work.
I do.
You put in a full day. Then there's theater at night. I'm surprised you're actually sitting here. Should you not be at a show?
There's no shows on Wednesday night. I had to
He
think. for a
closed
second.
down the pharmacy early.
No, I close at the normal time, and I get
Jeb
so much
makes the town go black.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of shows happening the Jebby night this year. I didn't know. It was hard to like schedule, but
So you're either constantly going to the theater, watching a TV show,
Yeah.
watching a movie, working.
well, my house needs cleaned. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So what do you do
Yeah.
that has absolutely nothing to do with any of these mediums?
The arts.
What?
Yeah,
The
the
art.
arts. Yeah. What do you?
What has nothing
Oh,
to do
that's
with
the
the arts?
arts that I don't.
He wasn't answering your question for you.
I
I was like,
filling in your question.
Thank you.
I like walking down Walhalla. I like doing like a walk, like a nice walk out once the weather gets nice. That's not really that exciting. Drinking, I tend to like drink with friends and sit and socialize. But then you talk about something that's arts related.
to
That's the
arts
hard part. Like I'm like,
yeah.
A lot of your friends in the same circle, you know.
yeah,
Are
I
they?
play.
Yeah.
I'm on the. Oh, I am. Wait, I just realized Stonewall like kickball team. I did
That's
that in
fun.
the fall, and then I did because I did the bocce team in the summer.
You play bocce?
I did.
I
It was
play
really
bocce.
fun. I'm not very good. Well, I actually was better than I thought I was, but
I
but
play
it's
bocce.
really fun. Because I'm competitive, so it's really scary.
Are you? Are
Mm-hmm.
you? Yeah, you have a competitive streak in you.
Yes, I like to win in games like board games and things like that.
Do you get
Yes.
upset if you don't?
Yes, I try to rein that in. I've learned to like as I got older to rein it in. That's why like it was hard to find people to play with when I was younger because I would be very upset about. Like, maybe I always want to get my way. So that the award show is a way to if we're taking it back to that. It's like it's an easy way to get my way. But what
I'm not going to dive too deep into the psychological, but you had an older brother. You have an older brother.
I am the baby.
You are the baby. You are the older brother. So were you competitive with your older brother? Did you? No.
He's 9 years older than I am, and so he actually moved out when he was 18, and I was 9. So the only thing I got his room. I was super excited because I kind of slept in the landing. Like in our house,
like Harry Potter.
No, it wasn't like Harry Potter.
Leave a bunch of shit behind.
But you go up like to the second floor, and there's like open. I don't know. It's just open. There's the bathroom and 2 bedrooms off of that, but there's this open space, and that's my bedroom when I was a kid.
Huh.
So
all right, we're Hansberry just
yes.
Serial
It doesn't
killer
seem like
scrawled
this,
down the amount of time that we've. I can't believe that an hour and 20 minutes has gone by.
You didn't even ask me any hard questions.
I'm
kidding.
No. Well, this wasn't an expose.
Wait, before the music, the song? What's your song of the year?
Oh shit! You know this.
Just because we're in radio and we
We're in
play
radio.
probably some of the songs.
Yeah, I don't
What's
listen
my
to anything we
favorite
play on
song?
radio.
Oh my god! I've had a little too much whiskey to remember.
Shallow.
What is it?
Shallow. I'm kidding. That
Oh,
was
no, that's not
that was
last
2
year.
years ago.
That's like that might be like the most played song on 94.7, but not. Oh,
It's a slam.
No, I mean, like
I
a
give
little
you
bit.
props. I give you props for actually knowing the number on the dial.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I split between that and 97.9, so that's like my.
I didn't hear that.
I got my first edit of the night.
But what is my song of the year?
All right,
All right.
I can tell you. Like I don't know. Like it's probably like Montero. Call Me by Your Name.
You like? Have you? Speaking of licorice pizza, have you heard the Heim? You like Heim?
I love Heim.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Well, I love my introduction to Haim was like
That
there was like a song they did with a DJ, God, Pray to God, and that wasn't even like a real Haim thing, but that kind of like I'm like who's Haim? So I'm
Heim's
like
fun. They're
the
great.
fact
I do
that
like-
he incorporated the entire family into that movie.
yeah,
Even
I
the
loved
parents
it.
and everything, yeah.
She was great.
Yeah.
She was really good. Like I wasn't expecting it. I really like Cooper Hoffman though too, the kid.
Yeah,
I thought he was
surprisingly
really
great.
Was
like,
he at the Oscars? I didn't see it.
He should have been. I thought like that's where I'm like, how do they not nominate that person or how like
Yeah,
sometimes you're just like
they were great. They were great, and I expect more great things from those two before it's all said and
and
done.
the little kid from Belfast, that little boy,
Yeah, good too.
so good.
I said
He
this-
made the movie.
I said this on the movie podcast that we just did. I'm a sucker for films that are through the eyes of a child, and that kid was spectacular.
Rabbit.
Yes,
Like right, Jojo Rabbit. That's why like Jojo Rabbit. was
Jojo Rabbit.
fantastic.
I mean, you can go down a list of
for sure.
films.
Just that
It's crazy. Jojo Rabbit was great. Again, Taki Waititi.
he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Tell me something
Yes.
before we go.
Uh-huh.
For those that might actually watch this podcast
Oh,
and
God.
actually know you, because I know that you will do us the justice of promoting this on,
Oh, yeah.
on your social medias. So tell me something.
No full nudity though.
What?
No full nudity though.
No full
Sorry.
nudity. No. We're not that kind of podcast. Tell me something that nobody knows about Jeb Bigelow.
What? That's crazy. What a crazy question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that a hard question?
Nobody. I mean, that nobody knows. That's like really deep. Like,
Well,
that's-
something that maybe there's not common knowledge about you, because just in this hour and almost 30 minutes that we spent together,
Yeah.
I have gathered a lot of information about you. You seem like a very sincere person, very honest, very open person.
He knows
You
how to
mentioned-
make meth.
He knows how to make meth if he wanted to.
I'm glad that's the takeaway.
You're competitive. You're passionate about the things that you love.
Yeah.
You're passionate about the people that you work with. You're loyal. You've got there's a lot of things. What don't we know about you? What is
Do you want it to be dark or like?
Doesn't have to
lighthearted?
be.
I was like, I feel like that's like very
No,
dark.
doesn't have to be
Like,
dark. If
murdered
it's
3
dark,
people.
fine. Doesn't have to be
what
dark.
do
But
people
what's
not
something?
know?
What's something that people who see you on a regular basis like going, huh? I did not know that.
Hold on before. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Sorry.
What was that?
Entertainment.
That is a hard. Like I'm trying to like. I feel like I have to. have to answer everything really sincerely, so it's hard to think of like.
You don't have to
kind of an
answer
open book
sincere-
when people like ask questions.
Are
and I'm
you?
like,
You're no.
yeah,
You
I
could
think
s-
so for the most part.
Maybe
I
a
mean,
guilty pleasure or.
What makes you?
I mean, that's gonna be like that's like porn, right? No,
What do you,
kidding.
what do you,
Is
what
it-
do you do in the
is
shower? Do you
porn your
sing in the
guilty pleasure?
shower?
Is it? That's fine.
Probably. Like, there's a lot of. I mean, it's so accessible now.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, it was not accessible, and I'm like, it's like everywhere you go, like you can't. Like,
Yeah, it's-
I don't know.
I had
Like I can't
VHS
imagine
porn
being a
when I
young
grew
gay
up. It
man
was awesome.
now. Like I think that's like it's like so
Yeah.
different. Because I thought
So,
like
yeah, and if porn is your guilty pleasure,
It's
is
not
it,
really-
is it if it was,
Yeah.
would it be gay porn or straight porn?
gay, 100%.
Yeah,
Do you ever watch straight porn?
of course.
If the
you do.
guy's cute, if the guy's hot.
All right. Fair enough.
I
That's
don't.
fair.
I feel like I'm very like on the one spectrum, like where I'm like, ew. I don't know. I probably I don't guilty thing. I'm not sure. Like that is hard because it's like most. I'm kind of like I've tried to be really.
No,
and
you've been
no one
great.
knows. Like I'm trying to be like an open book, and I'm like, like thinking like
All right.
when I was a kid.
Let me be a little more specific.
Yeah, be more specific. Yes.
Can I be more specific?
Yes.
All right.
I will answer 100%.
All right. Before we go, what is your biggest fear?
Oh. I'll probably cry. Probably my mom dying.
How old's your mom?
72.
My mother's 86 this July. I
I'm
get it.
Such a mama's boy. Like I am a
I get
hard.
it.
There's a reason. She's the person that I'm like. I don't know. Like you get people like that.
And I'm sorry, and I apologize. Is
Yeah.
your father still living or not?
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
father
And he's
still
going
living?
through some tough times right now. Like
Okay.
he's 74. He's 2 years older, but
Right.
yeah, without going
But
too
mama.
much, getting a little bit of like the dementia things happening
Sure.
now. So that's
Yeah.
there's a lot. I try to like maybe that's it. Like if serious things I compartmentalize. Like you're like, oh, let's put that back in. Let's put this back in this door right here, so I don't have to think about that right now. Because I'm
And you
like,
said your
it's,
mother's how old?
72.
72.
But she doesn't-
That's young.
Yeah, I mean,
These
she doesn't.
days.
Yeah, it's just
These
more
days,
in my
it's young.
and knowing my dad's like mom and like it's just like where you're
Yeah.
the trajectory that he could
No,
be following.
I sincerely get that. I talked to my mother today, and she gives me updates on all her doctor's appointments. And she went to the doctor to one of the. She goes to like 4 different doctors: one for her feet, one for her heart, one for she's got the early onset of Parkinson's, but she's doing magnificently well with the medication and so forth. And she said that the doctor said to her, "My mother." This is what the doctor said to my mother. My mother is 74 years old and in far worse shape than you are at soon to be 86. My mother came back. Her blood pressure was good. Her cholesterol was good. And on the other end of the phone, I'm going, Ma, that's great. That's great. When I hung up the phone, I get it. I teared up a little bit because the longer they stay with us, the longer you want them to stay with us, right?
Yeah,
So if you say you're going to tear up about your mama,
Yeah. I mean, my mom's mom is still with us at 93. So
Oh my
like,
God, God
it's one of
bless.
those where I'm like I can't, and maybe I worry that way too. You're just like, oh, when
Fuck, I got to take care of her in 40 years still?
No, when she goes like that's a big part of my mom's purpose right now. So I'm like, that's sorry.
No.
Like where I'm like, that's probably where I'm like,
Well,
real stuff like or my
that's your biggest fear. And that's a legitimate fear.
No, absolutely. My dad's best friend just passed away, and I was like, well, fuck, it's getting closer and closer. You know what I mean?
It's just hard. It's hard. Like the biggest, like you just don't want the people you really like. I don't want her to have people like lose people and be like,
or yeah, you live forever and have all of your loved ones dead.
That's my grandma. Like,
Right?
there's no one. Like,
Yeah.
there's no
And she's
siblings.
still-
no siblings.
And
in
is
law.
grandma still sharp?
Yeah, I mean, she lives in her own place, and
Right.
like she has like nurses that come in.
My
but she's
mother
pretty smart.
still independently living as well. She has somebody that comes in a couple times a week to kind of help with things. My sister pops in on a regular basis. My sister built a new house in Dunedin, Florida, specifically for them and to incorporate my mother. My mother said, "No, I'm not.
Dunedin is beautiful.
I know it is beautiful. It is beautiful, but I get it. So, obviously,
aging, maybe aging's my big fear. Then like all the.
do you try to hang on to youth, or do you figure you're
I
aging
haven't-
gracefully?
I haven't yet. I feel like I've been fortunate that my hair is still here, and
You got great hair, by the
for
way.
being
You got good hair.
for being in my
Great
mid
hair.
40s, my hair is still here, and it's and having lighter color hair. There's not a lot of grays that there's white. Like, so I'm very fortunate that hasn't been like
You don't color your hair at all?
no.
No. Wow.
How nice his hair is.
Definitely see like
For people listening on the podcast
Should I-
app, this
he's
alone
got good
is
hair.
worth
He's got
watching on
good-
the YouTube
just
channel.
listening,
Just
he's
to
got
see your
good
hair.
hair.
And your facial
Should I-
hair is
should I
just
color-
scruffy enough.
Should I color mine?
No.
yes.
No,
Like,
you think
like
I should
purple?
color? No. Should
Oh,
I
for
color-
just the Jebbies, yes. Please
No.
wear like I just want you.
What
to,
do you want me to wear? What
like
do you
Billy
want me to
Porter.
wear?
I want you to be like. I want like a suit dress. I want it to be like
No. You're
that or like
you're not gonna
some
get
jaunty overalls with no shirt underneath.
You are not gonna get your Billy Porter. You might get Billy Joel at best,
Oh!
but not Billy Porter.
Yeah, I'm fine with the Piano Man. That's fine. He is one of my all-time faves. So I'm fine with that.
All right. The Jebby Awards take place April the 9th at the Lincoln Theater. The show starts at 8 o'clock. How do people get tickets if they actually want tickets?
On mycbusarts.com.
Okay, good. Right?
Yes. There's also a link to that if you go to the Facebook page, which is the Jebby Awards, or there's like an event for the 30th Annual Jebby Awards, or I have a website that hopefully it has been updated, but www.jebbyawards.com.
Okay.
Because I snatched that early on, so
Knowing
Jebby with a Y.
that it would be.
Jebby with a Y.
So what J
You can do
Knowing
IE with a heart,
that
but
the
I
Jebby
like
Awards
the
would
Y.
be
Yeah.
what they are.
Who knew who'd have
today.
thought? Yeah.
Right. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having
I hope
me.
you enjoyed yourself this evening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you?
I'm liquored up. Yeah, I'm like, I'll talk for more.
That's. I don't want that to be the litmus test.
Oh, no,
I got
no.
liquored
I
up.
really enjoyed
I had
myself.
a great time.
No, I had a
If we
good time.
keep pouring drinks, he'll tell us who wins. I mean, nobody has to
If we
show
get
up.
them down, but I keep telling you,
Off camera, yeah.
keep recording after we wrap the podcast. I always say I want to do it after the business to keep things rolling, but he won't do it. He
much
won't
work.
do it. It's too much
got-
work.
he's
It's
got
too much.
He has too
work.
much pride in his work. That's it.
I have
that's it.
sincerely enjoyed this. When we had a conversation, you popped over with John and Ralph a few weeks ago, and I said I wanted you on the podcast. I was sincere about that. I want to sincerely thank you for agreeing to do this.
Yeah, anytime.
And I had a great time with
I
it.
want to sit on the couch when someone else is sitting.
you want to just come over and just and hang out while we do another
Yes.
podcast,
Or without. I'm like,
You're
fine.
more than-
Anytime.
You're more we have a couple of very interesting ones coming up, so maybe you can pick and choose. We have an author, Hope Madden, who was on the Oscar podcast, wrote a book called Roost.
Okay.
She's coming on. Right. Next week is my college roommate, and we'll be reminiscing because our 45th class reunion is coming up. So we'll be talking about the good old battle days and how we've progressed over the course of 45 years since high school. And then we also have a very interesting, insightful young man named Corey, who is now Chloe.
Okay.
And
That's awesome.
we're going to be talking about that entire process
Yeah.
and where she is today.
Yeah.
And how she got to where she was at and so forth and so on. So that's going to be another interesting, fascinating podcast, which I'm not going to have a lot of prepared questions for because I want to learn as well.
I hope you get nominated for like a GLAAD Media Award or something.
Well, I was gonna.
I don't even care about
I
that.
thought about
I
that
know,
earlier.
but I'm like,
Maybe,
that's
I
really
don't
sweet.
care.
I'm glad you're giving someone
maybe
opportunity.
there could be a podcast category in the Jebby's coming forward.
To listen to more. It would be like yours versus like Krista's.
Oh, and then
Then
love
versus
Krista,
but I
she
also
would kick
listened
our
to
ass.
My Dad Wrote a Porno and Race Chasers with two of the drag queens from Race.
That's a TV.
I don't
That's a
want-
show
no,
now.
I don't want to-
My dad wrote a porno.
Is it? Well, they had like an
so.
HBO special.
I
but
don't,
was
I
it.
don't. I don't want the. I don't want a podcast award in the Jebby's.
It'd be really hard. There'd be like one more media thing to
Just
add.
win it.
But yeah.
I don't want. I don't want to. I don't want to.
We just don't have room on the shelves for another
There's
award.
so many
I mean,
awards already.
geez,
We have a couple. We have they're in the other room.
You guys have won like multiple awards.
We've won multiple awards.
We're an award-winning podcast,
Yes.
if that's what you're asking.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I bragged about this that I was like, a couple people asked what to my mom and to like some other people. I'm like, I'm gonna do like I've done like 2 other podcasts before, but it was like Krista was in like her first 10.
I know.
So I was like, that was real early. And then my other friend who doesn't even do it anymore, I'm like, this is like a real, like this is like, this is like real, like local pod. Like I'm like, I don't know. It makes it feel real. Like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly.
So like you're very established, and I'm like. I'm like, it's a brand.
Our guest bottles, I should say. We started with the Old Forester single barrel.
That was amazing.
Barrel strength.
That was really good.
Great
From
job
the
picking
Columbus
that.
Italian Club. Thank you. I had a lot to do with that. I don't know a lot, but I know whiskey. And thank you, Jeb, for the Four Roses small batch select that joined us on the podcast as well this
Bottle
evening.
136, correct?
This is this is bottle
196.
195.
What? I thought 195 was last week.
195. No, we took 2 from Echo Spirits. I did not count the
you didn't
distiller.
count that one.
I didn't
Okay.
count the Distillers Guild whiskey, the one that they all joined in on because there was just that much of it.
Okay.
So I did not include
Fair
that.
enough.
I included.
We didn't have the real bottle here.
No, I included the Bavarian Rhapsody and the Echo Springs Rye as
Echo
as
Spirits. So you keep saying Echo Springs.
Echo Spirits. I don't know what is Echo Springs.
I don't know, but yeah, you kept saying Springs. It's,
I know,
it's
I
just,
know, I
you
know.
know,
I think it's
Echo
a-
Springs is a nice,
It's a nice bottle
of
of
water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my thanks to Greg Hansberry on the audio side and John Whitney.
Some housekeeping right before you sign off?
Yeah, well, before I do mine, Jebby, let's hear just real quick, like, if people want to go to the show, just kind of nice, concise, how can they get tickets when it is? Also, like, we can't make it, what are your social medias where we can find out stuff?
Because we did cover where they could get the tickets. and
Yeah.
everything.
Well, but I don't remember, and I was sitting right here, so let's wrap it up at
so
the end.
the
second part of your question was good, where they can find out who won afterwards.
The Jebby Awards are April 9th, Saturday night at 8 p.m. at the Lincoln Theater, and you can get tickets through through CBus Arts. I know that my link is mycbutsarts.com
Oh yeah, he just did this.
/3366.
Sound familiar?
You know that's one that I have to post.
Sound a little familiar?
Got my second editor.
That's right.
Sound a little familiar?
I have
little
a
deja
Facebook
vu.
page, the Jebby Awards. If you search the Jebby Awards, that should show up. Otherwise, there's a website, www.thejebbyAwards.com.
Yes.
Where everybody can find out who won.
Some other stuff, yeah, and I'll
And
go work
Facebook,
on
Instagram,
second-
I'm not as good as I don't have media coverage, so it's not as quick finding out the winners. So if you really want to find out as quick as possible, come to the awards.
Come to the awards.
Instagram, I try. My name in there is Jebby Awards, but it's normally just pictures of me being stupid. I don't know, and I put some stuff.
That's,
Any other-
It's
any other
thirst traps.
business?
It's
so is our Instagram account, Whiskey Business Pod. You follow us on YouTube, Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis, where you can watch this.
You can actually watch this craziness this evening, or
Yeah.
you can listen to it.
And you guys have done a lot of cool videos. We talk about the arts and the films and movies you guys have done. There's some cool shorts up there you can watch. Also, thank you for subscribing on your favorite podcasting app. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and just please share our episodes, one of your favorite episodes, with some of your buddies who might enjoy it. And we cover everything from A to Z. So
We do.
We're all over the gamut. Something's gotta trigger you. Let's see, Twitter. Did I say that? Facebook, Instagram, and thanks to our Evergreen Podcast Network, evergreenpodcast.com.
Yep.
Do you have a Patreon? If you
No, we do not have a Patreon.
Yeah, that actually, after you are a guest, you have to pay for us to release
He
the
already
podcast.
did. He did.
Totally
he,
fine.
He
Small
bartered.
bills.
I don't.
bartered.
I
He
mean,
didn't
I have
bring cash, he
ones
brought
in my
whiskey.
pocket. You need to take credit card from me.
He brought whiskey and water
No,
for our
we're
horses.
a public service to the community.
Wow, that couldn't have sounded. That was.
Third edit.
Yeah, third edit. Our guest has been Jeb Bigelow, creator and master of the JEBBY'S. Our bottles, our guest bottles, you saw them earlier, and so I'm just going to wrap it up. Thank you, Greg Hansberry. Thank you. There's the thumb, John Whitney. I am your host, Dino Tripodis. Until the next bottle, see ya.